And the conversation was pretty simple. I told Jessica, I was thinking about applying, and she was actually really supportive because she could tell, like, I was just worn out. Mm-hmm. We were doing 40 hours in 4 days. So I had 3-day weekends at the time, but it was just hour and a half drive up, hour and a half drive back. And she was like, I think this is going to make you happy. So, yeah, we started here, and I had no clue what to expect because this isn't anything that I ever dreamed I'd be doing, working with a small business, especially in this line of business. So my story, I think, is a little bit different.
Okay.
So I had one staff sergeant when I checked into my first unit, and he was hard. He was real hard. He was one of those guys, like, all you saw was the anger, yelling all the time. And like you mentioned, I had cancer when I was 19, and that staff sergeant was just the mean guy. He called me in the hospital, and like you could hear the emotion in his voice, and he was the one that was like, if you need anything, you let me know.
Wow.
I'll be there right now.
Wow.
And that, so from him, I actually took the reverse. I thought I was going to be like, no, I don't want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
But obviously I had to find my balance because I couldn't be that guy. I had to be in my own way. But he was passionate, but he also cared. So there was, that. But I mean, dozens of bad leaders, less of great leaders. Yeah. I have probably 4 or 5 ones that I remember that I'm emulate. Like, I want to be like that guy. And the rest of them, you take what you want, try to make it good, and then you leave the rest behind. And I think that's people struggle with that.
Yeah.
They just try to copy.
Welcome back to the Johnny Slicks Team Podcast. I am Johnny, and I am blessed once more with the presence of another Johnny Slicks team member, Zach, who is our COO, who has an incredible story. How long have you been with us now?
I have been here for 2 years and 2 months. 2 years?
Oh, you're not keeping track of that well, huh? Yeah,
no, not at
all. What did you do before Johnny Slicks? But 2 years and 3 months ago, what did you do?
2 years and 3 months ago, I had just recently retired from the Marine Corps. I spent 21 years in. I was a CH-53 helicopter mechanic.
Oh, Lord.
/ drill instructor.
Yeah. Oh, that. Okay, so which one did you like more?
Helicopter mechanic.
You didn't like, dude, you as a drill instructor, I feel bad for every recruit that ever encountered you. You are like very passionate about the things you're passionate about. I could see that being
I've run into a few of my recruits, and they don't generally have great things to say about that.
That's awesome. So you liked being the mechanic over that, yeah?
Well, I enjoyed more, I think, being a leader, leading Marines, helping them grow, seeing them grow too.
Yeah. I've seen photos of you before the beard, before the Johnny Slicks got to you, and it was like, dude, it's like you can't even. Mark, you see a photo of him before? It's like night and day different. I'm like, wait, who is that? Like, that's Zach? That's wild, man. So 2 years, 3 months ago, run me through the story, because I'm still baffled by how you are sitting in the seat as chief operational officer of this company that started in my kitchen. I'm still baffled by how this happened. So 2 years, 3 months ago, what happened?
All right, so like I said, I just retired. I was actually contracting. So while I was waiting on my terminal leave to end, I was up contracting in Kinston. And it was just more of the same. Kind of felt like, I just retired from this. Why am I doing it again? And I've been a slickster since January of 2020.
Okay.
So when I started growing my hair back
out. That was
out,
before our big boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I had started growing my hair out after drill instructor duty. And one of my Marines actually told me about Johnny Slicks.
Oh, shit.
So I'd been using it. I was actually sitting one day on Instagram, and I saw that you guys were having a birthday party.
Yeah.
So gathered the kids up, came over, went to the party, met all of you. It was a really good time. And then I saw another Instagram post that you guys were hiring. So I was like, talked to my wife, Jessica. What could hurt? Let's ask.
Yeah.
And I applied for the job, and actually I was in my last straw at my contracting job, and I got the call. Rebecca called me and asked me if I wanted the position. I said, absolutely, let's do this.
That's so wild, man. And you have you filed as a farm yet, your household?
I have not.
Okay, Zach has like 400 pets and like 300 children. Like, I'm exaggerating. What's your household packing right now?
All right, so we have 4 children.
Okay.
18 animals.
There's no difference between 18 and 400 at that point, man.
No,
that's insane.
Really,
wow, and it's not like you have 18 fish, right? Like,
no.
What are your pets?
7 cats.
Oh my God.
4 dogs, 2 bearded dragons, and 5 fish.
Okay, so making this decision to work at Johnny Slicks definitely was like you had a whole household meeting and be like, hey, I'm going from the 21 year here to contracting, and obviously everyone knows like that is decent money financially. To now you're going to go make pomades and bar soap. Like, did you ever see yourself making something like that drastic of a transition?
Oh no.
And how what was like your first? Because honestly, 2 years, dude, I can't remember. Like, I don't remember your first day, but I do remember you being like quickly taking over like the pomade section. Like you had something in you that was like, I am a crafter. Like I want to make with my hands. And maybe the mechanic in you did that, but like, what was that transition like to go from like, I'm gonna downplay what we do here and just call you a soap maker, pomade maker, but like, we do a lot more than that. But going from like drill instructor, fucking helicane mechanic to that, you know what I mean?
Oh, it was definitely scary. And the conversation was pretty simple. I told Jessica, I was thinking about applying, and she was actually really supportive because she could tell like I was just worn out. Mm-hmm. We were doing 40 hours in 4 days, so I had the 3-day weekends at the time, but it was just hour and a half drive up, hour and a half drive back. And she was like, no, I think this is going to make you happy. So yeah, we started here, and I had no clue what to expect because this isn't anything that I ever dreamed I'd be doing. Working with a small business, especially in this line of business.
Yeah,
but yeah, I came in, the beast wash is fun, but I saw how particular you have to be with the pomades, especially the Formula 49. So I was just constantly like looking, watching, asking questions. Yeah. And then I just like slowly kind of creeped in and just took it over.
And you did. And you did that with almost everything here. And just for you guys listening real quick, this is how Zach came in. 2 months ago, he was hired, and he was just a crafter. Like he just made grooming products, right? Like you just came in and you made grooming products, and then you left and you went home, right? And then you took over every product and was like, hey, I'm going to train everybody on how to do this. I'm going to master every single product. And you did. Like in no time, you did. You became like the most skilled master of any grooming product we have. And then I needed help because I was running supply, demand, the lab schedule, the cook schedule, where products are being cooked. And you were like, I can do that. You came in, you were like, I can do that. And then you became head of manufacturing. You were in charge of the ship of manufacturing, making sure everything was good. And then you came to me and you were like, hey, I want more. Like, what else is there? And then I was like, hey, you want to be COO of our company? Do everything? Can you do that? And you were like, I'm on it, man. Like, let's do it. And now you're the COO of this company. In 2 years, you went from just coming to our party to get Slick Day cake in person and celebrate our anniversary, and now you're the COO. Like that is insane that you were able to accomplish all of that in that short time frame. But I am like, I'm impressed, but I'm not surprised. Like it's like talking with you for the past 2 years and getting to know you. Like I'm not surprised. Like it's who you are to be able to. You are a very sharp knife, and wherever you're pointing, it's gonna get cut. Like I am very confident in that. How would you describe the culture here at Johnny Slicks compared to your previous places for somebody who doesn't know, like somebody who's looking from the outside in and they see the company on Instagram, whatever? How would you describe the culture being from the inside out?
Well, I think the easiest way, I guess I could describe that, because obviously Marine Corps wise, it was always, mission. That's it, the mission. Everything else is on the back burner, get the job done. Any means necessary, figure it out. Mm-hmm. And like obviously you have your friends or the people that that you talk to, but that's kind of it. Like when you hit the door, that's it. Mm-hmm. You take that hat off and it's kind of something else. Coming into here, it's like a family. And that's the biggest thing I think that caught me off guard is it's not just, oh, okay, I'm talking to the other, manufacturers and I don't know these people. Like I'm, when I came in here talking to you on a daily basis, it blew my mind. It was like, oh, wow. The owner is going to talk to me. The founder of Johnny Slicks is here. And everyone cares. I think that's the biggest thing is it's like a community. I think more so than anything. It's because everyone knows everybody. We all take care of each other. Mm-hmm. And you see somebody's having a bad day and we all are flocking to them, pulling them back up. And everybody just wants to see you win. Yeah. I think that's the most refreshing thing.
I got you. Cool. So you say community. Out of our other 5 core values, because community is the 6th one there, which one do you kind of lean more towards? And obviously they all kind of blend together. Like one action kind of has each core value speaks in each action we do. Which one are you like, that's the one for me?
Addicted to growth.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Brendan said the same thing, but he leaned more on community, but he was like battling those two. Yeah, you're addicted to growth.
100%. Yeah. And it's a different kind of addicted to growth here because obviously everybody wants you to get good at what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But here, everybody just wants you to get better. And it doesn't matter if it has to do with the company or if it's just you in general. Yeah. I think that's what's impressive is because we're all prone to stagnation, just sitting around doing, the usual. But coming here has opened, especially me, up to where it's like, I didn't think I could be a COO of a company. I didn't think I could go do some of the things that I've done now, but here I was, and I'm doing it. So it's like, making me think about going back to school, getting a degree. It's opened up a lot of it, and it's definitely made me hungry for more.
Good. I've been pushing to go back to school, man. Like, you've looked it up? You got one ready in the gun?
I do.
Okay, good, man. It's gonna be exciting for you to go back to something like that. Yeah, I'm pushing Joey. Joey should be starting something too. Colin's currently in school. Like, we all need to be like leveraging these opportunities. So I'm happy to see you doing that. So obviously you've had many hats in this company, many seats you have sat in. What is one thing that each seat has possessed that you are passionate about? If that makes sense, if that question makes sense.
So for me, I think the most passion comes from talking to and helping people. Obviously, when I first started here, I wasn't helping much. I was just helping me. Yeah. But since then, obviously, teaching, head of manufacturing, and then as a COO is just being able to guide people. Obviously, when they're struggling, give them a fresh perspective, help them grow within the company, within their own lives. And that's always been my thing. I just like to help people.
Yeah, I have seen that. And you're really good at it, man. Because, I've said it plenty of times, man. I'll say 400 words. I'll explain something. You can say it in 6. And you I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you can do that, but you've helped me a lot. We love metaphors and analogies, and we can talk forever about just something that doesn't exist. Like, we can create a metaphor and just talk about that. You had one. What was the one yesterday you said that you talked to Justin about?
Oh, so yeah, that because whenever we're in a struggle, it's like we're trying to claw up that slope to get back to what we were. And then when you finally, you could say hit rock bottom, or you stop to look around, you realize there's a staircase behind you leading to who you're going to be. We're spending so much time trying to get back to what we were.
Yeah, and you've lived that. Yes. And it's shown, man, and you're really good with those analogies, man. So talking about community, talking about the team, talking about helping people, what do you think, what are the key factors go into a strong and healthy team? If you had to identify just a few things that make a team strong and healthy, what would they be?
So it's definitely the number one thing for me has always been caring. If you truly care about people, they'll care about you. And that kind of segues into my second, which is respect. My history, obviously, you see a lot of leadership by fear. Mm-hmm. Just do what do it now. Yeah. And I've never quite agreed with that, because if people don't respect you, they're not going to do what what they're expected to do when your back is turned. Yeah,
that is true.
And obviously, I want them to come to me and be able to talk to me about their problems, their desires, their dreams. So if I care about them, they in turn care about me, and then they care about the company. And that's one of those things, obviously it starts, here it starts with you, with Rebecca, the caring is there. Yeah. Yeah. And you can see it bleed out to every level, because everybody that comes here is always this isn't real. Is this a real place? You guys care, you want to take care of me. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. I have seen you, and we've talked about this before, about caring. You can't teach caring. You can't do anything, but you can extract caring. But you have to input caring. You have to first care, be the one to care, if you're expecting other people to care back. You can't just expect it, just because, I'm a leader, you should care. That's not a thing, man. It really isn't. And I've seen you be the reverse side of that, especially coming from the Marine Corps. I did 4 years. You did 21 years. You spent way more time, and it's not it's just 21 divided by 4. It compounds. Your 8th year, dude, your back, when did your back go? You had you found cancer. You've overcome a lot of things while in the Marine Corps. So talk about rock bottom, but also your ability to care through all of that and touch everybody where they're at and not expect them to come to you and be at your level in order to have a conversation with you. Dude, it's really, really cool to see, and it inspires me to always become better as well. Even like you said, we all get stagnant at some point. We're all I'm no longer challenged. I'm just going to kick back and see what happens. And then I hear a year doing an over-under. and they created a new category for your age.
They did. That's exciting.
Yeah, that was a dig at Dr. Mike for doing that. But you're constantly, you're like, oh, cool, challenge. I'm on it. Like something addicted to growth. I'm going to keep going, man. My legs hurt, my back's out. And what was your back injury?
So I had a herniated disc that actually went backwards. Normally they go to the side or the front, but it went backwards and it pinched my spinal cord against the facet joints. So the nerves in my left leg are partially paralyzed.
And you've done how much PT and physical training and all of that since then?
Oh, it hasn't stopped. I went through like inpatient, or not inpatient, but like with a actual PT 8 months of physical therapy. And then I continued to work out on my own, but I was taught a lot of things, lean out, core, like what the core actually is. And since then, since my back injury, I've 3 marathons.
Yeah, right. Like it definitely was. It was like watch me. Like that's 100%. You were like, oh, bet. Let me see this. Like I got some resistance. Watch. You like reverse it and like a slingshot go the other way, man. It's really cool.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. So like seeing your leadership techniques coming from a place where, and the Marine Corps is great when it comes to like, if it doesn't teach you what to do, it teaches you what not to do. It's all about how you take away from it. So you've encountered like how many quote unquote there's no bad leaders because people teach you what not to be like, you know what I mean? So like how many bad leaders did you encounter before you were like, okay, I want to be someone different? Was it like the first one or was it like the 12th?
So my story, I think, is a little bit different.
Okay.
So I had one staff sergeant when I checked into my first unit, and he was hard. Like he was real hard. He was one of those guys, like all you saw was the anger, yelling all the time. And like you mentioned, I had cancer when I was 19. Yeah. And that staff sergeant, who was always just the mean guy, he called me in the hospital. And like you could hear the emotion in his voice, and he was the one that was like, if you need anything, you let me know.
Wow.
I'll be there right now.
Wow.
And that was so from him, I actually took the reverse. I thought I was going to be like, no, I don't want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
But obviously I had to find my balance because I couldn't be that guy. I had to be in my own way. But he was passionate, but he also cared. So there was, that. But I mean, dozens of bad leaders, less great leaders. Yeah. I have probably 4 or 5 ones that I remember that I'm emulate. Like I want to be like that guy. And the rest of them, you take what you want, try to make it good, and then you leave the rest behind. And I think people struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because they just try to copy.
Until you find you essentially, like you hone in to where, okay, this is me. And you've definitely found that, like your type of leadership where now people are trying to emulate you or picking on you for leadership traits and trying to emulate that and copying that and trying to find them. So it is really cool to have like, it's just a constant like sharpening process. And now you are like just so you know, you are a very sharp knife. Like when you have your mindset on something, like your gaze makes it shiver because you're like, I'm coming for you, bro. I don't care what it is. It's a goal. If it's a thought of a goal, I'm going to attack it. And you've done that many, many times. And that's why you're in the seat that you're in. And it's not the last seat you're going to be in. There's always growth. You know what I mean? So you go throughout your day as the COO of Johnny Slicks. You encounter a problem. You can imagine, for the listeners, you can imagine an issue that a COO might deal with. How do you deal with a challenge or a quote unquote problem or an opportunity of something that didn't go the way we wanted it to go? We have a goal in mind. We have a plan, an action. We have engagement. Go. It didn't work out. How do you approach that situation to kind of like either make a decision on, do we pick it up and keep going or do we leave it? What is your like brain processing system?
So for anything like that, and obviously a lot of the stuff we do is the first time. So it's, we're trying something new. We're trying to figure it out. And I look at, what went wrong? Why didn't it work? Is there an easier, different way that we could do this? And then obviously like I pick brains, I might ask you what you think. And through some other things, I've met some people that I can reach out to, but I try not to look at it as like, okay, it's failed. We can't do this anymore. It's just, how do we do it differently?
Yeah.
How do we change that, 1% to where it's now that it's going to work?
Yeah. Yeah. And it really does make that little bit of shifting difference. Cause like in a way I've looked at it too, as a fail just means we need to go back up to a hypothetical or hypothesis. Like, all right, it didn't work. What's next? Like, and I've never, being from the Marine Corps, it's like, that's not really how we're taught. That's not how we were wired to look at failure. Like failure is failure, man. It was like big red stamp on your fucking forehead. Yep. And that's like having to like, did you have issues like fitting into going from that type of mindset to this culture here, where I not only say problems are bad and failing is like bad. Like we don't use those words here. I encourage you to fail because you want to get that out. Was that hard for you to switch from like, don't ever fail or don't show your fails to like mess up a lot really early? As soon as it's your first try here, mess up as many times as you can. Was that a hard transition for you?
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, any change is obviously hard, but yeah 21 years of like ingrained win, succeed. It was hard to do, but it was refreshing at the same time. And you taught me that, whereas failure is the teacher. Success teaches you nothing, but failure teaches you everything.
Success is a pat on the back. Yeah, success is like the thumbs up, but it's just nothing. It's over.
Okay, it's good. What's next?
Yeah.
Like, that's all success is. It's just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of things we do, retail, it's all new. So we don't know.
Yeah.
So I fail as much as we can and just keep trying.
And it's see how compounding it is. Like if you mess up 50 times, you're 50 times more ahead. What's that quote? A master is someone who has failed all of the times.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's a real thing. The more times you can mess up, and it's like the fear of not messing up. I don't want to take action because I'm scared I'm going to mess up. Like, we don't have that here. And you definitely like embodied that. You're like, let's just do it. Let's just run with it. Let's see what happens. Like, what's the potential cost? How much, like, what does a quote unquote failure cost us? Nothing, man. And what's a win? A lot?
Yeah.
That's like, let's risk it, man. Let's put some money into this. And I've seen you do that time and time again. As a human being, as Zach, not just COO Zach, as Zach, the human being, what's one way you've grown here at Johnny Slicks that you didn't think was going to happen? Something that kind of just blossomed that you didn't think was going to happen.
So networking, I think, is just the way they summarize it. So actually, when I went to Utah and I went to the retail convention, I never saw myself doing that.
Okay.
Imposter syndrome, I guess, a little bit. Like, I'm just a Marine. I'm just an enlisted Marine of all things. What am I doing going here talking to founders, CEOs?
And they weren't like small company, like founders and CEOs.
I mean, like Little Giant.
Yeah.
Pretty big names.
Yeah.
Stanley.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I go into this situation. I'm like trying to get small in the corner. And then the next thing I know, they're listening to the Johnny Slick story. They're listening to my story. And all these people are like, whoa, that's an incredible story.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, maybe I do fit here.
Yeah.
And now I get messages from CEOs and founders and other COOs and stuff like that. And it's been refreshing. It's like, oh, wow, maybe I can sit here and swim with these guys.
I was just talking to Brennan about that because it's like with confidence, imposter syndrome, like we're not dealing with things that are like otherworldly. Like these are very human things and everyone goes through those things. Some people are battling them right now, challenging them right now. But it's like the wind didn't blow and put you on this seat. Like you didn't just happen to be here. You earned this here. So it's like when you go to those and you're like sitting in front of CEOs and they're listening to your story, like adamantly listening to you talk, and they're like baffled by the fact that like, how is this dude sitting here right here? Like that is wild. You've made how much money and how much time doing what? It's like, oh yeah, like I like fix your tie. Like I earned this. We earned this. We did this. Like it was through dedication, action, and like you said, caring that put me in this seat here. I earned this. And then all of a sudden that imposter side is gone. Like he's sitting in the corner still and you're like front row, spotlight, centered. And it's like not by force of ego by any means, but like we earned this, bro. Like you earned this position to go to these things and meet these people. And they are impressed because what you have done here and what we have done here at Johnny Slicks is not very common. It's a very uncommon thing to be going on, very unique, extraordinary. And I love that you've been able to kind of like not only match our pace, but like encourage everyone to pick up the rowing. Like, hey man, we can go faster. Let's keep going. And like, let's go. And now you know the direction we're going. So you can kind of like double down and compound our energy going in that direction and go and meet these people and like network with them. It's really, really rad. Do you see yourself like, obviously everybody grows and moves on to other bigger, better things, right? Johnny Slicks isn't the end all be all for everybody. So what kind of legacy do you see you leaving here other than like the fastest Formula 49 crafter, the best pomade maker, the fastest at learning every single product and the best COO to ever exist. Like what other what other like legacy do you want to leave here at Johnny Slicks?
I mean, it's just the caring, like the wanting to help people, succeed, not just in the business but in life. And that's, if we can keep that at Johnny Slicks, then Johnny Slicks is going to remain what it is, a unique entity that has no end, because the growth is never going to stop as long as we keep our culture.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's obviously what I want to leave behind. I want to leave behind a legacy of caring and just people that want to grow, want to see others grow, and want to continue to grow what we do here.
That's right, dude. Yeah. Brendan says something very similar too. You guys are so loving and caring. It's so rad.
He's reading my notes again.
Yeah, probably, man. He was like reading your notes and coming in here. He's like, I'm going to say this before Zach says it, so he has to copy me. That just means you're influential, man. We talked about that yesterday. You've definitely built a really rad relationship with everybody in the company. Like you said earlier, it's not just like manufacturing, take your hat off and you go. Like manufacturing and fulfillment, they're separate departments, but they're one entity. Like it's Johnny Slicks. Like media, customer service, every single department in the company speaks the same, bleeds the same, eats the same, like we all dress the same, we do everything together. And you've created like, dude, you and Joey, you and Brendan, you and Naomi, like you got like unique relationships going with everybody to make sure everybody's kind of grooving. And you just sat down, you do it. How often do you sit down with everybody? Is it once a quarter?
Once a quarter, yeah.
Once a quarter. So Zach actually sits down with every single team member and asks them how they're doing. Like it's important what you're doing at work, right? Like your goals, how you're performing, do you meet the core values? But like, how much of the conversation is that compared to like, how is the human doing? Like, how are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, how much of the conversation is split between those two things?
90% of it is just, how are you doing?
Okay.
What's going on in your life? Do you have any goals that you're trying to achieve right now? And then obviously like that last 10%, we need to make sure everything's good. There isn't any pain points, things that we don't know about. But I mean, my biggest focus is always going to be on the person and just making sure they're good. Because we don't want to leave people behind. Yeah,
and if the person's good, then they'll show up good. I did speak about that before. There is no work-life balance. Like, people are constantly seeking this work-life balance to try to find, like, there's no, by saying that, you're saying there's a difference between work and life. And, like, sure, that might work in corporate because it was structured that way, but that's why people are leaving corporate America, because there is friction between those. You're the same human being. Like, you're not putting on a mask and going to work. If you do, that's exhausting. That's literally called acting. You might as well be an actor. Like at that point, you can't, there is no different, unless you're like actual schizophrenic, like diagnosed, you have one human person and you're able to show up and encourage other people to show up and take that mask off and really be vulnerable. And obviously you as a leader, how much did you learn in the Marine Corps to be vulnerable?
I mean, that was the biggest hurdle that I had to come over, because we mentioned earlier, I kind of had to do it a different way. Everybody always has this perception of like, oh, that's just a hard, they're hard. You can't talk to them. Like, you're just going to get yelled at.
Yeah.
But, and I was also a UVA. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about that, but a SAPR VA. So, sexual assault prevention response person. And that taught me a lot about that, because you got to give them a insight, like a look into you before they'll give you any look into them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that was one of the things, and it taught me, look them in the eyes, pay attention to them, don't stare at the screen.
Yeah.
Things of that nature, but
care.
Yeah, 100%,
that goes back to what you always say, care.
Yeah. And then they see that and they come to you and they'll tell you the things that you need to know before it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And that was always, I guess, kind of by nature, because I do care so much. But,
yeah.
Lessons learned through other things.
You're very empathetic. You definitely feel feelings when other people are feeling them, even if they don't acknowledge their feelings.
Almost dangerously.
Yeah, dangerously, I know. And we've talked in length about that, because I have that same superpower as well. And it can definitely be a kryptonite. It can definitely be a kryptonite. You can get taken advantage of. But being vulnerable with people has definitely encouraged. And maybe that's why you and I get along so well, is because I'm vulnerable, like, to a fault. Like, I tell everybody everything. Like, I really don't care, and it encourages people to be vulnerable as well. And then all of a sudden, now we're growing, which is the point. So it's like, it's really rad to have you join the team and kind of like somebody that can understand me. And then I'm sure it's refreshing from you coming from the Marine Corps, where like that, unless you're dealing with sexual assault, obviously that's a very specific thing, but like your mechanic days, like you don't get vulnerable with the guys. Like that's not you're reading. Get the TM, get the technical manual. What are you doing talking about family? Like get out of here, man. You know what I mean? Especially with your shop, like you kind of want to be this guy with your guys. You don't want to be like the soft boy. You know what I mean? Talk about your feelings. Like you want to go cry about it over in the corner real quick. Like that didn't exist. So coming here and having you like open up and essentially like tap into that superpower has like I have seen it spread throughout the company, and it's definitely had everybody grow. So I'm glad to hear that like 90% of your conversations are human based, not work based, because if you plant seeds at the root and you take care of the root, everything will blossom. And if you don't got to worry about the blossoms, you know what I mean? Like they're going to take care of themselves. And caring is something that I've seen you not just talk about, but through your actions. You care constantly. Like, and that is no fault other than like I wasted my time. But really it's not. That doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Because you believe in energy and time investing. And I've seen you in meetings. I've seen you on calls. I've seen you like have your own, like I communicate my vision or my goal, and I've seen you pick it up and care. And I'm like, dang, I didn't even have to convince that guy. He believed in it like as much as I did. That's wild, man. And you like, I don't know, you can't teach that. So you definitely you are a butterfly. You are a unique unicorn of a butterfly. Like other humans like you don't exist. Like you are definitely a specific person. Where can people find you after this podcast? If you spoke to somebody and they kind of like jived with you and they want to message you or ask you something, or they're going through something hard and they think you can help, which you are very open to helping, you know, where can they find you? Instagram, anything like that? So
I'm on Facebook. And obviously just find my name. Yeah. And then on Instagram, my ID is half Zach 84.
Half Zach. Can you, is there a funny story behind that?
Well, I mean, that's, you know the story.
Okay. All right. So you can message Zach to find out more about that story. It is a funny story. So we'll save that for maybe part 2. Is there anything that you want anyone to take away? Like one super important thing that you've learned in your, how old are you now?
I'll be 41 on Monday.
41? Mm-hmm. 41 on Monday. So in your 41 years of life, is there anything that you want someone to take away? Like if you had like one thing to put on a billboard type of situation, like what would be that one thing?
It's just care. You know, none of us know how much time we have with anybody. And you know, life is too short for the quick spurts of anger and frustration. And you've said it many times, you know, somebody frustrates you and you don't know what they're going through. Have a little empathy for what's going on, but you just care a little bit, and that can trickle down into so many different people and it can change lives. I mean, yeah, I don't want to oversimplify it, but
I'm not going to take credit. I think Seneca said it. I don't know if he got it from somebody else, but Seneca said, always be kind to each other, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle than you. And
you don't know what that battle is.
You have no clue. Absolutely no clue. Your problems are minuscule compared to somebody else's.
And a nod of your head can save somebody's life.
Absolutely. A smile, a wave, a hug. Yeah. How many times have you hugged Brendan today?
Today?
Yeah.
3 times.
Okay. All right. I just got done speaking with him, and I was like, dude, you hug everybody. His love language is touch. He hugs everybody and says, I love you. Like, people can't leave without him hugging or saying, I love you. And talking about caring, right? Like, he just cares. And that's our head of manufacturing. So, well, thank you, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Time to go shake some people around because, you're the COO. That's your job now.
Yeah.
It's just like,
make sure work's getting done.
Yeah, it has not been done. How long are we at? 25 minutes? 30 minutes? 32 minutes is causing a ruckus out there. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.